Hi all. I may have found the first car atheist. After watching a bunch of his videos, I'm not entirely sure he is an atheist, but he does talk about the Bible as if it's a group of stories rather than a book inspired or written by God. So, he might be an atheist, or maybe just a non-literal Christian or something. I don't know. But damn, about 95% of his videos are filmed in his car. I just don't understand that whole trend, especially if you're driving. Shouldn't you be paying attention to the road? I know, crazy talk. Anyways, Jordan here says that atheism is cancer. Let's jump in and see what he has to say.
How's it going, guys?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
So today we're talking about atheism and how atheism is fucking cancer, right?
Wait, so not believing someone else's claims about a supernatural, immaterial, all-powerful being is cancer now? Do tell.
So here's the thing. I'm not really sure who reads the Bible more literally. The young earth creationists, you know, the crazy fucks that believe the earth was created in 7 days, or the atheists.
Honestly, I've never completely understood this argument. Are you saying we shouldn't actually take the Bible or any other holy book at its word? Who gets to decide what parts are literal and which parts are just stories with a hidden or not so hidden meaning? It's just a barrel of frustration to always have people arbitrarily decide that certain parts are to be taken seriously, while other parts are supposed to be just stories and not taken literally because it doesn't line up with reality as we understand it. Was the Great Flood an accurate account of what happened? Or is it just a horrific genocidal story we use to teach children that angering God might result in them being drowned? I know when I was in Sunday school, they definitely taught it as fact. Anyways, please continue.
Right, because at least the seventh day creationists, or the young earth creationists, at least they believe that that you can learn values through stories, right?
Yeah, they also literally believe the earth is around 6,000 years old. The literal atheist is just pointing out what this supposed holy book actually says and then arguing that it's nonsense. And point me to an atheist who doesn't think you can learn values through stories. The problem isn't the stories in this case, but that these stories are believed by many to be the literal or inspired word of God. That can pose some very large problems, such as small children being taught that they're going to burn in a lake of fire if they don't do whatever their church or their book demands of them. This doesn't only apply to Christianity either. For example, I was thinking of responding to this horrific video I had pointed out to me by a subscriber. While you watch this clip, imagine if this narrator was a parent and he was explaining this to their child. I mean, it's disturbing as hell to some adults, let alone a child. Here, watch.
Hell is already ablaze. Earth's fire is only 1/70th of hellfire's heat. A brain will boil in the head as 2 embers are placed under a person's feet. Hell will be filled with idolaters, makers of graven images, evil tyrants and the bad. Proud disbelievers may mock it, but when they feel its pain, in despair they'll be sad.
That calls for a Bill Burr moment.
Oh Jesus! The atheists, like, they'll take something. Okay, so for instance, right, when I was 5 years old, and I was watching Pinocchio.
What's so funny about Pinocchio?
I wasn't like, really? A wooden boy turns into a real boy because he was a good boy? Really? You think that happened? You think that happened? Really? He was a bad boy, so he turned into a donkey, and then he was a good boy, so he turned into a real boy? That doesn't make any sense.
Were you being taught that Pinocchio was the literal or divinely inspired word of God? I mean, holy crap, you don't see the difference? Do you think Muslim extremists that teach people that apostates should be killed, or that gays should be stoned, are looking at their book in the same way you're looking at the story of Pinocchio? Do you really think that the people who built and take school children to see the Ark encounter are reading the Bible like it's a work of fiction? Or do you think most of them actually believe that the world is 6,000 years old, and God performed an act of genocide a few thousand years ago?
It's like, no. What? When I was 5 years old, I knew that didn't happen, but what I took away from the story was, was things about temptation and doing the right thing and doing what you're supposed to, or you turn into basically a jackass, right? A donkey, a jackass, right?
Well, yes, and I hate to beat this point into the ground like this, but that's because you were told it was a work of fiction.
And it's like, okay, so yeah, that's what Pinocchio is about. If you do the wrong things, you're going to be a jackass.
Is hell temporary, or do the souls of the damned get destroyed? Quotes Matthew 10, 26 through 32, especially Matthew 10, 28.
If you do the right things, you're going to be a real human being, right? And,
In Christianity's case, a real human being that is broken and needs to be fixed through a grotesque human sacrifice. That's the kind of guilt you want to saddle people with? Because again, this stuff isn't taught as fiction in a lot of cases. It's taught as fact to impressionable children and vulnerable adults.
And what a real human being is different to other people.
Yeah, like in the Quran, atheists and homosexuals aren't really people that deserve human rights. They should be murdered because that's a righteous thing to do. Women aren't really people who deserve equal rights. They need to have a male guardian at all times, and if they decide to, I don't know, think or act freely, they can be caned in public while people look on and cheer. These bad ideas have real-world consequences. When Pinocchio extremists take over whole governments and start talking about how they're doing Pinocchio's will, let me know, and we'll revisit this topic.
This is a real meme out there, okay? The meme is it's like at the top, it's a picture of Noah's Ark and people drowning, and it goes, really? No one else had a boat? No one else had a boat? No one else had a boat? And I'm just like, how just pseudo-intellectual are you? I mean, like...
How dare he point out the absurdities in a story that is often taught as literal fact? The horror!
I don't know about you, but what I got about... I mean, like, you could watch Evan Almighty, and they get the same, the same conclusion I got was... It was about family. It was about bringing the family together.
Yeah, nothing says family like drowning innocent, defenseless babies and all life on planet Earth, besides a few that will be used to repopulate the Earth. That's some good old family values right there.
And against all odds, against what people are saying is right or wrong, or what is dumb to do. And that has real implications, especially in the world today, where the family structure is getting destroyed, despite the fact that you have every advantage when you grow up with a mother and father. Right? You're more likely to be successful in life. You're more likely to have a stable relationship. You're more likely blah, 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 blah. You can go down the fucking list, right?
So what you're saying here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we should believe in religious nonsense because it promotes family values? I know there's some people who believe that, and I can sort of understand where they're coming from, but I don't buy it. I think we as a species can find better ways of promoting those values without having to buy into a bunch of myths. You can keep and promote those core concepts without carrying the baggage that often comes with religion.
And, and they focus on the boat. They focus on the boat and the sheep. And I'm like, I'm not sure the story was about a boat. I'm pretty sure the story was about family, but...
Nope. It was about genocide, and a warning not to piss off the all-loving God, or he might decide to flex his muscles on unsuspecting humans.
Anyway, guys, the atheism is fucking just brain cancer. So if you're ever an atheist, please use my line and say, just use that, just use that and say, I'm not sure that's what that story was about, okay?
Did you trademark that line? Anyhow, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, take care, and cheers.